What up my MMA homies? Long time no text-to-speech. So apparently, this guy is the new UFC heavyweight champion. That's right, this guy is now a two-division champ. Hell yeah, this guy. What the heck folks? Some overweight, 39-year-old wrestler with a banged-up knee is not supposed to have pulled this off. Yet amazingly DC has only gotten better with age, and his technique continues to improve. I have done a study before on DC's best weapon aside from his takedowns, namely his dirty boxing from the clinch. Do check that out if you have time. Later on, we can see DC further improving on this tactic. In his fight with Jon Jones, in addition to throwing his usual uppercuts, he started mixing in short hooks to the head. Adding the hook made pulling up to avoid the uppercut risky, and added unpredictability to DC's clinch strikes. Against Volkan Oezdemir, this tactic further evolved. Against Volkan though, DC started standing his ground when the opponent loaded up to throw power shots. Now he would extend his hand in the pocket as you threw your right, to try catch your arm. Not only would this extended arm serve to smother your power shot, it also allowed him to secure a collar tie, where he could then start dirty boxing, and spam you with the uppercut and hook combo. This use of his arm to trap your power hand made punching at DC dangerous. Your power shot would end up smothered, and you would start eating a chain of uppercuts and hooks. So this is where questions start arising. Did Stipe prepare specifically to counter this? DC was using this same entry throughout the fight and was successfully getting the collar tie. Stipe's main reaction to getting caught in this was to use a cross frame to try flee from DC's clinch. While this was successful initially, Stipe was playing with fire every time he used this defense. DC's uppercutting hand was free to strike in the clinch or during breaks. Give a wrestler enough chances to swing, and he just might hit a home run. Eventually DC landed the kill shot during a clinch break and got the KO. Now, I'm sure Stipe would have eventually figured out a way to counter DC's clinch tactic, if he had enough time to study him during the fight. The problem was that his chin gave out before he had time to adapt. Jon Jones went through the same painful learning experience, but managed to figure it out quickly with his high fight IQ. Check out my study for the details, but in short, Jon Jones also reached the same conclusion by the second round. Frames and collar ties were allowing DC to dirty box him too easily. Like Gustafsson, Jon Jones started to double-team DC's hand, and stall him out in the clinch till he could break away safely. Stipe didn't need to get beat up like Jones or Gustafsson. He could have studied their fights and seen the conclusion both fighters independently reached as to how to solve DC's dirty boxing. Hindsight is 20/20 though, and while we may never know why Stipe decided to fight this way, we can be sure if there's a rematch, controlling DC's right hand in the clinch will be a priority. By the way, as I was watching DC and Brock Lesnar in the cage, it got me thinking. Where have I seen DC's clinch entry before? Could he have gotten it from another WWE star? Or perhaps from Coach Edmund? Listen to this snippet from an old study I did.
Over and right, okay? You listening to me? She puts her head down and swings. That hanger's working perfect. She falls in on you, takedowns there. Easy, right?
Indeed, like DC, Ronda Rousey used something similar to get into a clinch. Called a hanger by her coach, Ronda would extend her arm to catch overhands and get head control. This allowed her to stand her ground against heavy strikes rather than retreat, and meant she didn't always have to bull rush someone to get the clinch. But enough distractions, let us get back to the WWE. I have several thoughts on a DC Brock matchup, but those are details for another time. In closing, let me leave you with some thoughts. I can already see people getting caught up with the narrative that Brock is too big and powerful for DC, and that DC will get finished. Let me just point out, that in his fight with Mark Hunt, Brock landed a total of 20 standing strikes over 15 minutes. And of those 20 strikes, only 5 were power strikes. I tried to count, and I believe he landed a total of 1 right hand in round 2. In other words, if Brock has some kind of puncher's chance, this puncher's chance better show up in the 10 power strikes I expect him to land over 25 minutes. The other narrative is that Brock will take DC down and pound him out. Now, Brock getting the takedown is a distinct possibility. But I'm skeptical that Brock can keep DC down. DC's ability to find the tripod is excellent, and no one has managed to keep him down for an extended period. DC is also very good at clinch fighting when pinned against the cage, and he always manages to find the reversal, even against bigger and taller opponents. These are all speculations for a future video and I'll call it a day for now. Once again, DC has accomplished an amazing feat, doing something that most athletes 10 years younger than him can only dream of. Thanks for watching folks, till next time.